Welcome to a world where forgotten legends come back to life. Everyone knows Hercules and Achilles, but what about the heroes whose names have faded over time? In this video, we will uncover the incredible stories of 10 lesser-known Greek heroes who shaped mythology just as much as the legends we all recognize. From fearless warriors to cunning adventurers, these forgotten champions left their mark on history in ways you never imagined. Who were they? What great feats did they accomplish? Stay with us until the end as we reveal the most underrated hero of them all. Let's begin. Atalanta is the first of the 10 lesser-known heroes of Greek mythology, yet her story is one of courage, speed, and defiance. Abandoned as a baby on a mountainside because her father wanted a son, she was raised by a she-bear and later taken in by hunters. She grew into a fierce warrior, unmatched in speed and deadly with a bow. Her greatest feat came during the Calydonian boar hunt. The monstrous beast had ravaged the land, and only the bravest warriors dared to face it. While others struggled, it was Atalanta's arrow that first struck the boar, weakening it for the final blow. Her skill earned her honor among heroes. Determined to stay free, she vowed only to marry a man who could outrun her in a race. Many tried and failed, paying with their lives. But Hippolyta, with help from Aphrodite, used golden apples to slow her down and won. However, their love angered the gods, who turned them into lions. Bellerophon is the second hero on the list of lesser-known Greek heroes, yet his story is one of great bravery and ambition. Born to the mortal Eurynomy, Bellerophon's greatness was foretold by the gods, but his journey was filled with challenges. He is most famous for taming the magnificent winged horse Pegasus. With the help of the goddess Athena, Bellerophon managed to ride Pegasus, a feat no mortal had achieved before. His most legendary accomplishment was slaying the Chimera, a terrifying monster with the body of a lion, the head of a goat, and the tail of a serpent. The Chimera terrorized the land, and it was Bellerophon, mounted on Pegasus, who flew high above the beast and killed it with his arrows. This act of courage and skill made him a hero of great renown. However, Bellerophon's pride led to his downfall. After his victory, he sought to ride with the gods on Mount Olympus, but Zeus, angered by his arrogance, struck him down. He is the third on the list. Philoctetes was a master archer, known for wielding the legendary bow and arrows of Heracles, weapons that never missed their target. But his story was marked by pain and betrayal before he could achieve greatness. On his journey to Troy, he was bitten by a venomous snake, leaving him with a festering wound. The smell and agony were so unbearable that his own comrades abandoned him on the deserted island of Lemnos. For years, he lived in isolation, surviving only through his skill with the bow. However, fate had greater plans for him. A prophecy revealed that only the arrows of Heracles could bring victory in the Trojan War. The Greeks, desperate to win, returned to Lemnos to seek his help. Though filled with bitterness, Philoctetes eventually agreed. In battle, he struck down Paris, the prince responsible for the war, turning the tide in favor of the Greeks. Meleager is the fourth hero on the list, known for his incredible bravery and skill in battle. He was the prince of Calydon, born to King Aeneas and Queen Althea. At his birth, the fates predicted that Meleager would live only as long as a certain log remained unburned. His mother hid the log to protect him, but destiny could not be avoided. Meleager's most famous achievement was leading the hunt for the fearsome Calydonian boar, a monstrous beast sent by Artemis to ravage the land. The greatest warriors of Greece joined the hunt, including the swift Atalanta. Meleager was captivated by her skill and beauty. When Atalanta wounded the boar, Meleager delivered the final blow and insisted that she receive the prize. This angered his uncles, who insulted Atalanta and tried to take the credit. In a fit of rage, Meleager killed them. When his mother learned of their deaths, grief consumed her. In despair, she threw the fateful log into the fire, sealing Meleager's tragic fate. His story is a reminder that even the greatest heroes cannot escape destiny. Orpheus is the fifth on the list, a legendary musician and poet whose melodies could charm gods, mortals, and even the forces of nature. Gifted with a lyre from Apollo himself, his music was so powerful that rivers changed their course, wild beasts became tame, and the hearts of men softened at his songs. His greatest trial came when his beloved Eurydice was taken from him by death. Refusing to accept her fate, Orpheus descended into the underworld, playing such sorrowful and beautiful music that even Hades and Persephone were moved. The gods granted him a single chance to bring Eurydice back, with one condition: he must not look back at her until they had fully left the underworld. With his heart full of hope, he led her through the dark passage. But just before reaching the surface, doubt overcame him, and he turned around. In an instant, Eurydice vanished, lost to him forever. Stricken with grief, Orpheus wandered the earth, singing his sorrows until he met his tragic end. His name endures as a symbol of love, art, and the power of music. Perseus is the sixth on the list, a hero whose bravery and cunning made him one of the greatest figures in ancient legends. Born to Danae and Zeus, his destiny was shaped by prophecy and divine intervention. King Polydectes, seeking to rid himself of Perseus, sent him on an impossible quest to bring back the head of Medusa, the terrifying Gorgon whose gaze could turn anyone to stone. With the help of the gods, Perseus received powerful gifts. Athena gave him a polished shield, Hermes lent him winged sandals, and Hades provided a helm of invisibility. Using these tools, he approached Medusa while she slept, avoiding her deadly gaze by looking at her reflection in the shield. With a swift stroke of his sword, he beheaded her and escaped, carrying her head as a powerful weapon. His journey did not end there. On his way home, he rescued the princess Andromeda from a sea monster, proving his heroism once again. Perseus' name lives on as a symbol of courage, intelligence, and divine favor, marking him as one of the most celebrated heroes of ancient times. Theseus is the seventh on the list, a hero known for his courage and cunning. Born the son of Aegeus, king of Athens, he grew up unaware of his royal lineage until he lifted a heavy boulder to retrieve his father's sword and sandals. Determined to prove his worth, he embarked on a journey filled with trials, defeating bandits and monsters along the way. His most legendary feat was entering the labyrinth of Crete to face the Minotaur, a monstrous creature that devoured those sent as tributes. With the help of Princess Ariadne, who gave him a ball of thread to navigate the twisting maze, Theseus ventured into the heart of the labyrinth. After a fierce battle, he slew the Minotaur and used the thread to find his way out, freeing Athens from its terrible tribute to King Minos. Despite his heroism, his story carries tragedy. In his haste to return home, he forgot to change the sails of his ship, leading his father to believe he was dead. Overcome with grief, Aegeus leaped into the sea, giving his name to the Aegean Sea. Cadmus is the eighth on the list, a legendary hero whose journey shaped the fate of an entire city. A prince of Phoenicia, he set out on a quest to find his sister Europa, who had been abducted by Zeus. When the oracle of Delphi advised him to abandon his search and follow a sacred cow instead, Cadmus obeyed. The animal led him to the land where he would found the great city of Thebes. Before building the city, Cadmus had to face a monstrous serpent guarding a sacred spring. With great courage, he slew the beast, but was then instructed by the gods to sow its teeth into the earth. From these teeth, fierce warriors, known as the Spartoi, sprang forth, ready for battle. Thinking quickly, Cadmus tricked them into fighting each other until only 5 remained. These survivors helped him build Thebes, marking the beginning of a powerful dynasty. Despite his achievements, Cadmus's life was marked by misfortune, and he ultimately lamented his fate. Some myths say he and his wife, Harmonia, were transformed into serpents as punishment or as a form of divine mercy. Jason is the 9th on the list, a hero whose name is forever tied to one of the greatest quests in ancient legend. Born the rightful heir to the throne of Iolcus, he was robbed of his birthright by his uncle Peleus. Determined to reclaim his kingdom, Jason was tasked with an impossible challenge: retrieving the legendary golden fleece from the distant land of Colchis. To accomplish this, he assembled a crew of the bravest warriors and demigods, the Argonauts, and set sail aboard the mighty ship Argo. Along the journey, they faced countless perils, from clashing rocks to deadly harpies. In Colchis, Jason met the sorceress Medea, who, enchanted by love, aided him in taming fire-breathing bulls, sowing a field with dragon's teeth, and defeating the sleepless serpent that guarded the fleece. Though victorious, Jason's fate was ultimately tragic. After betraying Medea, he lost everything: his family, his throne, and even the favor of the gods. In the end, he died alone, crushed by the very ship that once carried him to glory, a reminder that even the greatest heroes are not beyond the reach of fate. Hippolyta is the last on the list, a fierce and powerful queen of the Amazons, a warrior society of unmatched strength and skill. She was known for her courage, leadership, and the enchanted girdle she wore, a gift from her father, Ares, the god of war. This magical belt symbolized her authority and was said to grant her immense power in battle. Her legend became intertwined with the hero Heracles when he was tasked with obtaining her girdle as one of his 12 labors. Unlike many of his previous challenges, Hippolyta did not resist him. Instead, she admired his strength and was willing to give him the girdle peacefully. However, the goddess Hera, always seeking to make Heracles' life difficult, spread rumors among the Amazons that he had come to take their queen by force. Misunderstanding his intentions, the Amazons attacked, and in the ensuing battle, Hippolyta was tragically slain. Despite her untimely end, her name remains legendary. Hippolyta represents the strength, honor, and resilience of the Amazon warriors, proving that even in a world of gods and heroes, mortal women could stand as equals in battle.